And so I would like to introduce Missy Hamilton. Yes. And just tell us what your job is. Let's start out with that and what it is that you're going to be sharing with us tonight.
Okay. I am the program coordinator, volunteer for the, the volunteer coordinator for the program for CASA. CASA is relatively new in this area, like 2019. So the job came open. You know, Angie knows, I have worked at Tomorrow's Hope for 5 years, doing basically the same thing. And this is more in the court and in the background, and that's just my thing. So I begged and pleaded, and I got the job.
I bet you didn't have to beg and plead too hard. You have some great experience. So.
I did, like, do you know? When will we know? Taz, please.
So tell us, what does CASA stand for?
Court Appointed Special Advocate.
Okay. And you are advocating for what then?
The children that are in the system with DCS that are victims of abuse. Any type of abuse, sexual, physical, drug exposure, but it's only those children. We don't handle the truancy unless there's abuse and the unrulies.
Yeah.
We have some of these diagrams up that you brought us. Tell us about those.
The best interest advocacy, that's what we start out by our training. It's several hours where Taz sits with us and we learn communication, cultural differences and how to handle that. Things like that, just kind of basic, but things that you might not think you're going to run into, and then you do. And then after that, we form these relationships. We just get out there with the children. Our goal is the best interest of a child. Not what the child wants, not what mom and dad want, but what we truly think is the best interest.
Right.
We base that on a lot of decisions. Are they working their services? DCS gives them a list of things to do, and we have access to that. Are you doing that? Are you doing your visitations? Are you doing everything you're supposed to do?
So they start with DCS and then refer to you.
DCS gets a referral. They go through their process of investigations, and then they go to court. And upon that date, the judge can look at that and say, there's a lot going on here. We need some extra help. We kind of are the legwork. You know, DCS does a fantastic job, but they can't do it all.
No.
So we come in and we visit with everybody, do all that hard stuff for them. DCS does their side, the services, all of those things that they know they need, but then we come in with maybe some things they didn't know they needed. Some things maybe the children say, or maybe the foster parent needs something and doesn't really know where to get it or how to ask for it. We can provide that information and help them get it, whether it's through DCS or, you know, my experience. I've got some connections. I can call and say, this lady just needs 5 minutes of your day. Right. So things like that is just doing the legwork.
And where is it that you interact with the kids? Where does the volunteer meet with the kids? And
we can go to their foster homes or their homes if they are still at home. We can meet them at their visitations with their parents. Actually, we are encouraged to do that so we can see that interaction. Is mom really holding you and nurturing you? School. We can meet them anywhere, but we try to stay in their environment. We want them to be comfortable. You know, they've got enough going on without strangers taking them all over the place. So we just kind of blend in their environments.
Are you able to say about how many children that you all interact with in Henry County?
We currently have just under 50.
Okay.
She gave me a little cheat sheet because I'm new.
Yes.
I started in October, so I don't have the numbers memorized yet, but since they've started in 2000, they started the process of getting legal and certified and all of that in 2018. They started getting cases in 2019. So 60 cases, but that's 95 children.
Because they're brothers and sisters? Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Most of the families have more than one. Obviously, you can tell if it's 60 cases and it's 95. There's more than one child in most of them. All of those 95 children have exited the state's custody. Now, of those, 23 were reunited with 35 children. Went back home, parents did their work, and I just want to say right here, this is not a negative on these parents. You know, things happen.
Yes.
And my job is to meet you where you are. Let's look at what's going on and let's look at how to correct that. It's not about what you've done wrong, it's what can we do different.
I like that.
Nothing about, because I fall in love with these parents. You know, the kids, yeah, you're going to fall in love with the kids, but I love the parents.
Right.
Because there's a story behind every action.
Right.
And, you know, I don't always see it till I get in there. So it's not about anything that's done wrong. Things happen. We had 6 cases with 10 children adopted.
Oh, wonderful.
And that's sweet.
Yes.
And I know that made some families very happy. 19 cases ended up with guardianship. That's some sort of long-term care, but not adopted and couldn't go home with mom and dad. That was 34 children. And 13 children with permanent guardianship. So all the children are placed in a safe, thriving environment where where they can get caught back up in their development.
So
One thing that's been alarming to me, I'm sorry.
No, go.
Once I get started, girl.
Yes. I love it.
One thing that was alarming to me that was new information. Every time a child is moved, when we take the child from their home, foster, another for whatever reasons, that child is set back 6 months developmentally every move.
Wow. Yeah.
That's huge.
That is.
And we're resilient, we can do, but that's still trauma on those babies every time we have to move them. So our job is to come in there and keep them somewhere where they can at least feel like they have a solid foundation there.
Oh, that's
So
good.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But
No.
No, that's great.
We love hearing about this. This is great.
Tell us some success stories that you know about.
I reached out and asked. We still have a few volunteers that have been there from the beginning, and I reached out to them, and they don't really want to tell details because these are very confidential and sensitive. But both responded with the love that most grandparents end up carrying for that, just like their own child. Which you think, well, of course a grandparent is, but they've raised their children. They're doing other things, but they come along and step up. And this one lady said it was she's met some of the most lovable grandparents in the whole process.
It's wonderful.
And I've already not technically met, but I spoke on the phone with a foster parent. I just can't wait to go meet her. I mean, she was so sweet. I just want to just go hang out with her. That's success to me when you find those people that keep that baby in a safe place.
Yes.
Not necessarily totally away from parents, but in a safe place where they can come and they know that when they come to that home, they're safe every day.
Yeah.
Right.
And is CASA a national organization?
It is national. It's in all 50 states now. There are over 900, I think it's around 950 programs across the nation. It got running good in 1978.
Wow. That's a while.
That is a while, and I'd never heard of it till it came to Paris. But there was a juvenile court judge that had a case with a 3-year-old victim, and he was not sure he had all the information he needed. And he started thinking about that. Well, where can we fill in the blanks and get that information?
Right.
And he developed this program. And then Judge Snyder heard about it, and that's her story to tell. I don't know it all, but I know that she realized that too. Because sometimes it's easy to fall through the cracks when there's not enough hands in the game.
Right.
So she started getting in there and finding out what to do and how to do it and brought it in.
Yeah. And so if somebody wants to volunteer, then how do they go about that?
Just contact us. I can get you in contact with Tass, and Tass will just do an interview. And it's just a, why are you interested? It's not like right or wrong answers. It's just, I want to get to know you. And then she will, we do background checks. We got to keep the kids have to stay safe.
That's right.
Even from us. And go through the process, and we start training and that kind of thing. It's not hard.
Yeah.
It's so easy. Just call.
Well, and I noticed you all have a Facebook page.
We do have Facebook and a website. You can message the Facebook. You can message me. Most people know how to find me because I'm everywhere. But we'll certainly get you in the right direction, talk to you about it, let you come talk to us, because it may not be what you want. Once you come in and see what the background is, it may not be for you. So it works for both of us to come in and have that interview, talk to you, see what's going on in your world. And our volunteers range from full-time employees. Maybe they can't go to court, they can do everything else, and we can go to court for you. You just have that report ready and take care of that end of it. So even if you think you don't have time, but it's something you would like, kids are out of school in the evening. If you work during the day, you can go at night and visit a child and send us the reports, your notes, and we can put it all together for you.
Nice.
We have that. We have retired people, past teachers. We have a nurse. We have just a variety of people. They just want to help. They just want to do something to
It's wonderful.
give back.
Yeah.
It's
Great.
fun.
About how much time could a person commit if they wanted to volunteer?
It varies. Of course, the more children involved, your time is going to be more, because sometimes they're not in the same home. So you may have to go to 3 or 4 homes to see your child. One of the big requirements for us as volunteers is we have to lay our eyes on the child at least once a month. Zoom is good, but we have to physically see them to make sure they're good, see how they respond, all that. So it can take a little while, but then some cases open and close really quickly, and there's not much involved in it. The kids may be older, and you can just call and say, hey, I'm going to meet you at McDonald's after school. You got 30 minutes, you're good. So it varies. And you can say, I don't want something with 5 kids, 6 kids. Just give me, I'm scared, I'm nervous, just give me 1. We can work with that.
That's nice.
And she chooses the volunteers based on your background. Like a former teacher, we'll give them the older students because that's what they know. That's what they're comfortable
great.
with.
So you really do try to work with them.
Yes.
This is awesome.
Absolutely. And, we've got them that call and say, I just don't have time to finish this. Right. Send it to me. We'll get it done for you. Thank you for everything that you've already done. It's a team. It's not one person against the world. We all work together.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank God we have you. Thank you for what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. I love it. There's no thanking me.
And so what are y'all working towards right now as far as CASA? What is there to look forward to in the future?
Well, I would like to not have a job.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I was just thinking that, but it's a blessing that you're...
If you could pick something, I would say, lay me off because there's no work.
Right.
But volunteers, we always need volunteers. We have, I think, 14 now, and we need like 25.
Okay. 25 more or 25 total?
25 total.
Okay, so everybody watching,
That's right.
9 more volunteers would be a big Christmas blessing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that
Absolutely.
would be a gift that you could give your community to be able to volunteer in this way, go through the class. And how often do you all hold the classes?
She does it when she has 4 or 5 volunteers, but I think I'm going to be able to do that soon. And if somebody wanted in, I'm all about getting them in. You know, it's hard to sit and wait. Mm-hmm. If you want to help, you want to get in there today, you don't want to wait. Oh, okay.
So what would it look like to become a volunteer? What would that volunteer do?
A lot, but but it's not hard
Look
stuff.
at the answer.
You know, that is. For example, you can go to the school, talk to the teachers, the counselor. How is this child responding? Is it better now or the same? What's going on there? Medical records, are they going to the doctor? You know, if mom and dad are having a hard time, sometimes we don't make it to the doctor or the dentist. We can check all of those records and make sure they're where they need to be. If they've been and have issues and need to return, we make sure that that's in our report that they need to go. We visit the foster parents, we visit the parents, everybody, DCS. We have group meetings with all the attorneys. I had no idea there were so many attorneys. But your parents have attorneys, the baby has an attorney. There's just people. So we have group meeting phone calls with the team regular. If the smaller the child, it's more often trying to get them back home. That's part of Safe Baby Court. That's an extension of the juvenile court as well. So they meet like once a month. Let's get this baby back. Let's get bonded. Let's get mom and dad back on the right track. But just running around doing interviews. I told Angie a while ago, like, investigating. That's not what I called it, but you know, just get in there and get your feet dirty and find out what's going on here. If something doesn't make sense, make it make sense.
Right.
So that you can tell the judge, hey, something's wrong here. I don't really know what it is, but something is, and I'm not sure this is good for the baby. I keep saying baby. We see them till they're 18. Sometimes they age out. Sometimes somebody will take them when they get older. But we just do things like that. The reports are very important. The judge needs that. It does a lot of things. It helps her know what's needed. Uh-huh. It helps her know that the child has been seen, has been talked to, there's something going on there. DCS report is what the services are. So it's a little different. Ours is, you know, just a little bit different from theirs. And it makes a big difference sometimes. Sometimes the attorneys ask for us. If she doesn't appoint us, the attorneys will say, I think we need somebody else. You know, so there's a lot involved in the background, but nothing hard, nothing scary.
And what is it that the parents are doing in the meantime to try to work towards getting their family back together?
Hopefully work in DCS services. They'll set them up with different organizations, Camelot, different things. Camelot will come in and help them parent, hands-on. Therapeutic visitations where they're in there going, don't do that. Let's do it this way. This way might be better. DCS oversees all of that. Drug testing, if that's what the case is. Anger management, parenting, all those things that factored into that case in the beginning. Because they have all of that information day one. They start that as soon as they get involved. The parents should be working that.
Right.
Should be.
Should be, yes, yes.
They should be working those services because they have to complete those things to get that child back. No matter what that situation is, if you don't do it, DCS is going to say no.
Right.
And it can lead to termination of their rights. Not often. Most parents don't want to lose their children. They
Right.
don't, we just get in bad situations. Myself have been in bad situations. My kid could have been in foster care easily. Depression, things like that lead to abuse
Right.
Right.
in ways.
Yeah, and I've always tried to be real about the fact that we are all one bad decision away
Absolutely.
from being in jail.
Absolutely.
Basically,
Absolutely.
And so I'm glad that you all have compassion. It's not just for the children, but it's also compassion for the parents, and because you want to do what you can do to be able to help them work things out. So I like that.
You just have to meet them where they are.
Right.
You don't put them where you want them. You just meet them where they are and try to work with what you got.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, they respond to you.
Yeah.
They're angry. We've got them at probably the worst time of their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
very
angry,
sad.
they're defensive. But if you just come in with that, look, I've done the same thing. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're all right. I just didn't get caught. You did. Let's change it. Let's
Right.
move forward,
Yes.
whatever the case is, even if it's kind of not the truth. You just have to realize where they are
Yeah.
and talk to them and be their friend and find out where it went wrong, because it's probably some kind of childhood trauma that they had.
Yeah.
Right.
You know that.
Yes. Yes.
That nobody stepped in for them.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to step in. You got to work with us,
Yeah.
but we're going to fix it. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
If you want it to be okay, you got to do your part.
Yes. So tell us then, we know that you want volunteers.
Yes.
I'm sure donations would be great.
Yes.
Yes. So tell us, just wrap us up and tell us how we can help.
Volunteers. But money, I did not know this. Again, my cheat sheet, she sent me a breakdown of what the donations do for us. I'm used to getting donations at my other job, but I could see that. I could see where we were spending money and doing those things. I haven't gotten there yet, so this was new information to me. It helps us recruit and train the volunteers, supervise the volunteers. It costs $900 to provide 1 year of advocacy for a child.
Oh, wow.
For a child, and we have like 50-ish. So add that up. I'm not good at math. I'll let y'all do that. And it costs $500 to train one volunteer.
Wow.
So, you don't have to be good at math to figure out we need that.
Right. And can people donate through your website?
There's
Okay.
a PayPal link on there. Mail a check.
you're
Just
still
call
so-
us and talk to us, and we'll get it to where it needs to be. And sometimes too, people will call and maybe they don't make a regular donation, but they'll call and say, "Do you have a family that needs anything in particular, like a bigger item?" Well, yes, I do. This family just got their child back, but they don't have a stove. Okay, go buy a stove and send me the bill.
Yeah. Well,
It doesn't have to be every week. It could be something like that.
Well, then, thank you so much for sharing all this. And I want us to look one more time at where people can access the information and make donations, become volunteers. Henry County CASA, henrycountycasa.com, and facebook.com/Henry County CASA. And I hope you all get a good response from you being on here tonight. Some
Yes,
donations
definitely.
and volunteers. So
I
thank
hope
you so
so.
much.
I'm so glad
Thank
they
y'all.
have you.
Thank y'all
you
for calling
coming.
me. This is great.
Okay, and now we're going to go to listen to Carry On again. And I love this song they're getting ready to do.
Well, this one's a little tip of the hat to Mr. Johnny Cash's gospel albums back in the day. This is one of ours called 4 Blood Moons. Well, there were 4 blood moons on that horizon. Yes, there were 4 pale riders coming down. And there were 3 trumpets sounding when a star fell. And those 2 that were there, they'd come to prepare, and witness of false man was coming down. Well, there are some of us that don't care for our brothers, and there's some of us who live our lives in sin. But we're all judged by the way that we judge others, for he knows just where you've been. He can see the hearts of men through all those smiles that evil lies within. And there were 4 blood moons on that horizon. Yes, there were 4 pale riders coming down. And there were 3 trumpets sounding when the stars fell. And those 2 that were there, they'd come to prepare, and witness of false man was a-coming down. There are some of you who might not like my stories, and some of you will hear it and won't care. But if you have fear in God and all His glory, just know there ain't a man out there who won't have to pay his share for a tree left unattended, branches bare. And there were 4 blood moons on that horizon. Yes, there were 4 pale riders going down. And there were 3 trumpets sounding when a star fell. And those 2 that were there, they had come to prepare, and a witness of false man was a-going down. Well, now Jesus paid our way to get to heaven. Then Judas sold him out and burned in hell. Now we all succumb to one of deadly 7. You might holler out and yell, but the dealer knows your tell through all the smoke and lies you try to sell. That there were 4 blood moons on that horizon. Yes, there were 4 pale riders going down. Then there were 3 trumpets sounding when a star fell. And those 2 that were there, they had come to prepare, and witness of false man was a-going down. They'd come to prepare, and to witness the false man was going down.
That was wonderful. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much for having us. Glad to be here.
So tell me where you all actually are from.
Well, we're from upstate New York and Massachusetts originally, but we live over in Erin, Tennessee now.
Okay, upstate New York and Massachusetts. Awesome. When did you all move here then?
We've been
About 4 years ago.
4.5 now.
Yeah. And so what brought you all to Tennessee?
Music.
Music City.
Okay.
Right
good.
smack dab between 2 of the best in the world, so.
Where do you usually play then?
We've been playing all over the place. We're headed to Winchester, Tennessee tomorrow night.
Yep.
We'll be playing at, Oasis Steakhouse, but we've been playing all over the state. And this summer it looks like we're going to be doing our first kind of East Coast tour. We're going to be heading up to Wisconsin, through Kentucky, and all that fun stuff. So.
Okay, I'm going to step back a little bit so you can get back in your mic a little bit better. There you go.
Certainly.
Well, so you have your little tour Little tour starting. I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Okay.
We're starting to get out there a lot further now. So
Yeah.
wherever people call us and say, "Hey, can you come?" we say, "Yes, we can." We'll be there with bells on. So
Yeah. So how long have you all been together then?
Been together for 15 years, married for 10.
Okay. So did you start playing and doing music and you were in a relationship, or did you all play music together and then you're like, hey, this might work?
well,
Give us a little story here.
So we've always done music together. So we've always sung together. Brendan's played guitar since as long as he can remember. And then about, it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I started having seizures while I was pregnant. So I was stuck at home and I couldn't really do very much. So I was like, well, I guess I'll pick up the guitar and I'll figure out how to do this.
she finally caved after years and years of me trying to convince her to play with me.
Yeah, so and it all kind of clicked, and we've always written together. It's just now that I can play.
She decided to step out of her shell a little bit and
Just
finally
a little bit.
join me on stage.
Yeah, because you do have a great voice, so this is awesome. I love that you all have this going on.
Well, thank you so
Carrying
much.
on, going on, yeah. So, you've played any in Nashville since you came here to?
Oh yeah, we played quite a bit in Nashville. We're going to be over at Randy Driscoll's Jingle Ball,
Yep, that'll be at the Cambria Hotel,
the True Music Room.
the True Music Room.
That's coming up, what, next week or the week following?
It's next Friday.
But yeah, we played quite a bit over there. We do quite a bit at the RV circuits. We play a bit at that. That's the campgrounds and things like that.
Oh, fun, yeah.
Try to make the rounds that way. So we
Yeah.
do a little bit all over the place.
And do you have a way that people can access your music?
Miss Jackie, the website.
So the website at carryingonmusic.com, and I try to keep that as updated as we can. And right now there's links on there to get all the music and any videos that I can find online right now. All the links are right there on the website, carryingonmusic.com. And we do have one single that's released right now that people can download. Spotify and all those fancy things, Apple Music. Which one am I forgetting?
Oh, it's on all the streaming
all those
platforms. We just say
streaming
all of
Yeah,
them.
just
Go
on
with it.
all of them.
But
There you
There
go.
is a link to that on our website, so you can find it from there too.
Okay.
Yeah, and we
So-
should be having stuff coming out at the end of January.
Yeah, that first song, Sweet Anna Lee, is getting ready to drop here at the beginning of the year. So
Okay, good. So facebook.com/carryingon.
Yes.
Right? Okay, very good. Anything else you want to tell us about yourselves and your music?
come on out and see us. We're all over the place. You can check our website and check the social medias as to where we're going to be, and we'll be happy to see you out in the audience anytime. Glad to come up and talk to you after the show and shoot the breeze.
Wonderful. Well, it was great to meet you all, and thank you all so much
Thank
for
you
being
so
on
much
here
for
with us
having
tonight.
Happy
Appreciate it.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
So, Carl, welcome to Good Day Paris. We're glad that you're here.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. Yes, and thank you for filling in for Miss Jen because she's also got something.
Well,
that
yeah, she was saddened that she wasn't going to be able to make it, and I was going to come anyway to kind of give her support.
Oh, that was nice.
But and I told her, I said, "This is your opportunity to be famous, Jen," and she was all excited about it. But then she got sick and couldn't come. But I'm glad to pinch hit for it. I'll do my best for her.
Well, it is all going around. I'm at the end of it, thank God. But you know, it's a lot of colds and flus and all that going around right now. Mm-hmm. Well, we certainly hope you're doing better, and we look forward to meeting you in person soon, hopefully.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about Real Hope. Are you also a program coordinator, or
No, I am the director of Real Hope Youth Center. I started with them in 2019. Real Hope Youth Center was started back in 2010. Your dad was very instrumental in that. I started with them in 2019, and we, for the longest, met over at Central School, the old Central School, Community Services building now. We're very thankful that they allowed us to run our program out of that building for all those years. But I realized when I came aboard that, and you may have heard that we have a vision to build a full service YMCA type youth center here in Paris.
Yes.
Right.
Your career is what you work for, and your calling is what you're made for.
Right.
And this is my calling. I was born and raised here in Paris, Tennessee. I grew up in West Paris. People will understand that to be the other side of the track, so to speak, the poor side of town. And I know what the needs are. And God has blessed me, brought me full circle, gave me a wonderful career. But that career was working with the federal prison system.
Interesting.
For 30 years, I firsthand saw the brokenness
Right.
on the backside of society.
Right. Yeah.
The unpaid bills from the front side.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you this right quick. I don't know how much time we've gotten, and I will talk about that after school program, but because our mission is the now and the not yet. The now is the after school program.
Right.
The not yet is the vision to build this youth center. But I saw in 1993, I got assigned out to the United States Penitentiary in Leavenworth, Kansas. I was a department head. I oversaw all of the buying and purchasing, construction, everything for that prison. And in my office, there was a top row of 4-inch binder books, black binder books. And they'd been up there for some time, and they were all dusty except for the last one. You could tell that the last one was one they were operating out of. But all these others had been up there for years.
Oh,
so one day I pulled one of them down, opened it up. It was the death books. It was the death books. It had the picture and the background information, the criminal history, basic information of the inmates who had died
Oh my.
while incarcerated there at Leavenworth.
Yeah.
And as I began to turn the pages and read these stories and a little synopsis of the criminal activity and background that brought them to this point in life to where they got a life sentence at the United States Penitentiary in Leavenworth, Kansas, and they never got out. They died there. I looked at those men's pictures and I got to thinking, at some point, that was somebody's baby boy
Right.
that they were so proud of, had all the aspirations of a future of goodness and greatness, and yet here's where they ended up. I retired in 2012, finished up my assignment out of the federal courthouse in Nashville and retired, moved back to Paris because, when I was growing up, I couldn't wait to get out of here. But in my career, I couldn't wait to get back.
Right.
Because I knew it was time for me to start giving back to my community and try to do something. God blessed me, gave me a great career, gave me a wonderful family. I've got 4 children. They're all married, got spouses. I've got 15 grandchildren. God has been so good to me, but I got back here and I realized that had not a whole lot had already changed here for our youth. And our churches are doing a good job in their youth groups and everything, but I wasn't raised in church. I was the baby of 7 kids, and we were your basic booger heads growing up. We got into all kinds of trouble, and I think I told somebody this place right here used to be Paris Dairy,
Right.
and we used to break into here and steal ice cream sandwiches. Now,
Oh, dear.
We're probably the reason they went out of business. I don't know, but. And that's not good. I tell my grandkids that story. I tell them that's not good. That's not right, kids. But we were hungry, But you know what? Our society is reactionary,
Right.
and I'm glad we are reactionary, because if there's issues, there's problems, we need to address it. But our society is reactionary. We see the problem and we jump to it to fix it, and we'll throw the taxpayer dollars there. I oversaw in my career with the Bureau of multi-million-dollar budgets. The last 15 years, I oversaw the halfway house process for the federal prison system, those who were coming back into society. And we pay millions of dollars to contract with people who provide halfway house services. We bring them out 10% before their release date, and we have staff in the halfway houses, help them to find jobs, help them to rebuild their bridges back to the society, help to prepare them to re-enter society. But that's reactionary. I'm glad we do it. We have to do it, but millions of dollars is available there. It's like our society, we will buy the ambulance, we will park it at the bottom of the cliff. And when the people come over the top of the cliff, we will collect them and get them to the hospital. But we don't have enough foresight, and we're not willing to put money on the front end to build a barrier at the top of the cliff. And that's what Real Hope is doing. We are working now with our after-school children, but that is grades 1 through 8. The need is so much greater than that. We want to build a full-service youth center for children all the way up to 19 years of age. And people say, well, so what? You know, I made it through. They can make it through too. Yes, I made it through as well. But I think it's a bad commentary on a society, and it's certainly evident from our prison systems. If we leave everybody to fend for themselves, we have a responsibility, I feel very deeply, to set the table, provide the tools for our children to be able to make the best choices.
Well, what are some of the programs that you offer?
Well, right now, as I said, ours is the now and the not yet, and I wear many hats, and one of them is oversight of our current program. And I tell our board all the time, our job is to grow the product and protect the core, and the core is what we're currently doing, and that's working with our grades 1 through 8. It's an after-school enrichment program. You know, there is a fee associated with our program, but 80% of the kids that come to our program are not able to pay that fee.
Right.
And we don't turn them away because of that.
Is this at school or is it somewhere else?
It is after school from 3 from 3 to 5:30. And I want to tell you this, one of these things I'm so excited about is we were able to finally relocate from the old central school. We needed to move because we needed a central location for our program. And it is still temporary because when we build this very nice, I don't want to scare anybody, but it's going to be a multi-million-dollar facility.
Yes.
My father owns a cattle on 1,000
right.
hills. We will not place an insufficient building out there on that property. And we do have the property already. Yes. We've got 5.5 acres. The last 2 years, I can't stay connected to one thing because I get excited about this other thing. The last 2 years, we have raised over $200,000. We got a long ways to go, but we're raising the level of awareness. People are responding. They're understanding that, yes, this can happen. Yes. I'm the bus driver. Get on this bus, we're going to do it. But I'm glad we relocated. First Baptist Church here in town, they came to me and they said, Carl, I understand that you're wanting to relocate Real Hope After School program. And I said, yes, I am. There's nothing wrong with where we're at except that it's an old building. And there's no security over there for our children. Right. Our children, especially in this day and age, they need security while they're in program.
Well, how can people help? How can people reach out to you and help?
I got a card about a year ago that I keep on my office wall. It was, I could tell from the card, it was an elderly lady. And in that card, there was a check for $100. And she started her card out by saying, I wish I could do more, but I wanted to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I keep that on my wall because that's all I would ask for anybody. There's enough people here in Paris and Henry County. Nobody has to hurt themselves.
Right.
We need to raise the level of awareness high enough for people to understand the need and give what they can. And at the end of the day, when it comes to this youth center that we're going to build,
Right.
we'll be able to say that the people of Paris and Henry County built that youth center.
Yes.
That's nice.
Now, but
That'll
let me
be
get
great.
back. Let me get back to the relocation to First Baptist Church. They opened up their doors to us. We are a 501c3. We're independent nonprofit organization, but they are allowing us to use their facilities, and it is so wonderful because we have security for our children there. Our parents absolutely love it there. We're at full capacity. We can only have 30 children in the program right now. That's all the staffing that we have that we can handle. But our families love it. I want to tell you this, one thing that we do, we try to do a lot of things in the after school program, but one of the things that we make sure when that child comes through our door, they are going to get their homework done before they leave.
Oh, good.
Because the majority of our children, if it's not done there, it will not get
It won't
done.
get done, right.
Yes.
Right.
And it's so important, especially in the grading system in our schools today, a lot of it, a bigger portion than ever was, goes to the homework module. And so we really focus on getting that homework done. But on top of that, we have dance classes twice a month. We have an instructor that comes into our children and teaches them different styles of dance because we want to expose them
Right.
to cultural things. We do cultural days where we try different foods from different countries and listen to the music and talk about what life is like in that country. We want to expose our children to society as a whole, and we want to do it in a very wholesome way. We speak to the spirit of the child, and we hold them accountable for their behavior.
Yeah, that's very good.
It's very good because here one of the issues is sometimes we give a child a pass because of their bad background.
Right.
And we want to extend all the compassion for the situation that they're in, but we do not excuse bad behavior. We hold them accountable. But a lot of times if you take the time to look below the surface of the bad behavior,
Right.
you can do something to address that and change that as well.
Well, what kinds of programs then do you offer?
What does the REAL stand for that
there you
those
go.
programs come out of?
I'm glad you asked that. That's an acronym.
So am I.
Real, recreation, education, arts, leadership. And we focus on those grades 1 through 5 on the recreation, the education, and the arts. And then we also have grades 6, 7, and 8, which we refer to as our youth volunteers. We work with them developing leadership characteristics. In our current situation, they'll have a radio and they have a lanyard that has access badges, and we are on our classrooms on the second floor and our entry points on the first floor, and they are utilized to transport children. Whenever a parent comes and calls for the child, we'll have a youth volunteer that's there at the door where they come in. They'll call up to the classroom, say, "I need so-and-so down here," and another youth volunteer will escort that child down and to the parent. So, and that's the things that we do with 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. We focus on developing leadership skills with them.
That's wonderful.
And you know, both of my children have been to Real Hope, Abigail and Parker.
Yes.
And I have always said, this program is wonderful. I wish more people knew about it, you know? And so I'm really glad that you're here because they are not just hanging out after school, playing on the playground, which is good. They need the recreation, but I love the focus that you all have on the arts, you know, with the dancing, the
And
education.
recreation is a part.
Yeah, it is
We have gym
yes.
time, but But we really, we want to help that child to develop in a positive way, and not just to give them the recreation and the arts, but we have life skills classes. We teach children how to make toast and jam.
Good.
We teach them how to fold
Feed themselves.
towels.
Yes, I had a person in my youth group that we went on a trip, and he didn't know how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So you think but people need to learn.
That's right.
One of the things, and you mentioned you wish more people knew about this. That's one of the things that I recognized when I came aboard that we have got to do is raise the level of awareness. Yes. Because, as a Christian, the Bible says don't let the left hand know what the right hand's doing, and we don't want to be tooting our own horn. But I've had to learn, when you're over a program like this, where there's so much at stake, you've got to toot your own horn. Mm-hmm. You can't do something, however good it is, you can't do it over in a corner and leave it left unknown. You've got to let people know, hey, this is what we're doing, this is where we're doing it, and this is why we're doing it. Yes. And that's why I'm here tonight. That's why every time I find a stump to get on, I'll jump up there and I'll start talking, because we have to raise the level of awareness. It's the power of collectivity. Enough people know, enough people care, enough people give what they can give, we get it done.
Yes.
Very good.
And, the education part, there are tutors there. I don't know if everybody realizes that. It's not just, okay, sit down and do your homework. You have people there that are volunteering and helping.
We are so, I laugh about this a little bit because we're so blessed with volunteers, and a lot of our volunteers are, they're retired. Mm-hmm. And they do an awesome job, but one of the biggest issues for them is the new math. Lord have mercy, that is hard. That is hard. It's hard on me, but because it's just the way they do the math. They come up with the same results, but the process is totally different. But anyway, we have volunteers that come in and help us along the way in this process.
Yes, and then do all the schools offer the bus ride from the school to Real Hope? Is that how that works?
Well, it's how it will work. Okay. It's how it will work. Right. Once we get into our new building, and the after school program will always be a part of what we're doing. Now, the new building will give us a platform to increase everything up to the age of 19, and it'll be like a YMCA. Mm-hmm. But right now we are open to all the school systems, but it's the Paris City School District that brings the kids directly from the school to our front door. Okay. The county schools, we've just have not been able to work that out because they're more of their groups are out in the county more. But Paris City School District buses bring the kids right to our door, and then the parents will come there and pick them up.
And so, as far as bringing more funds in to do the things that you're supposed to do, I know people could donate directly, but what fundraisers do you all do?
Well, our biggest fundraiser for years has been our annual golf tournament, Hope and Opportunity Golf Tournament. But, the Chamber of Commerce came to me last year and said, because of COVID, of course, we had the year we didn't do the fish fry parade or the fish fry. And they didn't do, for 35, 36 years, they had done the catfish races. Mm-hmm. Bill Williams went down in 1985, 86, down to Mississippi somewhere, the editor of the newspaper at the time, and he saw this catfish race thing, and he thought, that'd be a great thing for us to do during Fish Fry Week. And so they started doing that, and then it got passed over to the Downtown Paris Association, and then COVID hit, and then they didn't want to take it back up. So the Chamber of Commerce came to me and said, "Carl, would Real Hope like to do the catfish races?" And I said yes, and he said it may be a pretty good fundraiser for you, and it will be, because I know a good fundraiser when I see it. It's going to be an awesome fundraiser. But that wasn't what I had in mind. What I had in mind is raising the level of awareness. The world's biggest fish fry. Our community annual event, our festival. This would put Real Hope Youth Center right in the middle of that thing as a prime feature and event. Right. So I said, yes, we will do that. We had to go out and we had to create the new troughs, because the troughs that they had, that the fish raced down, were their original ones from 35 years ago. We invested the money to build, there was 5 troughs, I'm adding 2 more. We did it the first time, brought it back this past year. It was my first time seeing how this thing was going to play out. It was a big success. We had the most entries that we ever had, but I learned so much from that. And believe me, I'm putting that thing on steroids this year. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have 7 troughs. We're going to be racing those fish, and we're going to get it all done in an hour and 10 minutes. The biggest thing about this, ever since they started, because of how it works, it has taken 2.5 to 3 hours. Well, I know how to streamline that whole process, and we're pulling it in. Everybody's going to come out and have a good time, and we're going to wrap that thing up in an hour and 10 minutes. We're going to determine who the winner is, and we're going to put a $300 prize out there at the end of that thing for whoever wins
That's
it.
going to be nice.
Yeah,
It is going to be awesome. So but those are really our only 2 fundraisers that we are really involved in right now.
Well, this has really been interesting. It's just really been, we've got your still up here for Real Hope Youth Center. It says stay tuned to local and social media. Very nice. Looking forward to you guys doing what you're going to do in the future. And we've seen your land, and we pray every time we go by it. And
it's all for the kids. Frederick Douglass said, "It is easier to build strong children than it is to repair broken men."
That is the truth.
And I will add to that, it is cheaper too, because I've seen the cost on the backside of this thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
So-
this has really been an interesting evening. We've had Missy and all that she's doing. It's just an absolutely wonderful job. And what you're doing, this is amazing. It's all about the kids.
Yes.
But we're kind of running out of time, so we're going to have to wrap it up here.
So thank you so much for being here. And I just hope that as people have watched this tonight, that they're going to be calling you, getting on the Facebook page, contacting you, wanting to volunteer, donate money, be a part of what's going on, so that we can see this grow.
I'm hopeful for the children. If nothing else, I hope people can understand that this is my passion.
Yes.
I was born and raised in this community, and I will see this happen, good Lord willing, before I die.
Well,
That's
thank you
awesome.
for being here.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And now we're going to hear from Carrying On again. So let's hear it.
Here's our single from last August. This is called Wildfire. Thanks for having us. My wildfire, come on, put a little whiskey in my tea. You can't say I'm a liar, when darling, some days you get crazier than me. With all the things we've been through, I guess you'd have to be.
My husband and the darn guitar, he loves it more than me by far. Swear one day I just might break it. But then he whispers in my ear that nice sweet song I like to hear. Come on baby, can we make it?
My wildfire, put a little whiskey in my tea. You can't say I'm a liar, but some days you get crazier than me. With all the things we've been through,
I guess you'd have to be.
well, my wife, she loves to drive that car. She's got a lead foot that's on par, Bert and Smokey and the Bandit. But then she'll flash them big brown eyes, and some young cop gets hypnotized, goes and throws out every ticket. My wildfire, put a little whiskey in my tea. You can't say I'm a liar, when some days you get crazier than me. With all the things we've been through, I guess you'd have to be. Come on, put a little whiskey in my tea. Yeah, yeah, you can't say I'm a liar, but darling, some days you get crazier than me. My wildfire, come on, put a little whiskey in my tea. Yeah, yeah, you can't say I'm a liar, well, some days you get crazier than me. With all the things we've been through,
I guess you'd have to be.
with all the things we've been through, I guess you'd have to be. With all the things we've been through, you're still in love with me.
So, here we go. Happy birthday to you. Come all the way in.
Happy birthday to you.
Keep coming.
Happy birthday, dear Angie. Happy birthday to you.
Well, there you go.
Right.
Woo! Here's our cake. Woo!
Awesome.
Okay, I'm making my wish. Maybe I can do 4 candles. I'm 49. I'm not ashamed. I cannot do 4 candles. Thank y'all. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for being a part of everything here today with Good Day Paris. We'll go ahead and I'm going to let you do that since I washed my hands, but I'm just going to let you do all that. Thanks for being a part of this with us. We've had a wonderful, wonderful time.
Thank you all for being a part of our first show tonight. So we hope you all take part in donating to these wonderful organizations.
Yes.
And tune back in next week for Good Day Paris.
And here's some Carrying On information. Go to facebook.com/Carrying On Music and look them up. Get them in your city. Bring them in. They really are wonderful. I just love what these guys are doing. And we want to just thank you guys so much for being here with us.
Yes, thank you.
Very
Great
special.
guests on tonight too. It's so great to learn about what y'all are doing too.
And thank you, Jason. Okay, so good night, y'all.
Good night.
We'll see you next week.